Hail, friend. Are you sure that you haven't been followed? I have heard our opponent has been expanding their surveillance systems.
I'm fine, Hitch. The lineage has no worry about us out here. How are you, though? The trip went well?
Yes, the S7s do provide the comfiest ride yet. As Grec has advertised, and my in-flight meal was excellent, I have my doubts about the removal of the S6
This is an
shield.
informal event that Meister Yogsbi has organized here. You can bring this up at the next official meeting. It'll be a nice shindig on chair, and I've heard Marion's hiring a professional chef from Tiaz. It'll be lovely, and we'll talk all about it then. For now, though, let's just head down and talk to Meister Yogsbi.
Alright, Max, I won't be confrontational. What did Sevan want us to look at here?
Speaking about purchasing this rock, actually, I think it'd be a good investment for the council. I think he's actually also hoping you'd like it. It's very defensible, or so I've heard. Would you like something to drink, Hitch?
No thanks, Max. I suppose the Delta-type psionic field variants might disrupt sensors, but that's common in old Neo-Crusader colonies. There is no reason Bellona would be more defensible than any of them which the Council already own.
You're the expert, Hitch. It's probably just something a real estate agent told him, or maybe it was just advertised that way with the idea of snagging business from some folks outside the Soleotch Free State. Some tax is always too much tax for some people. No matter how low we put it, you know? Although I suppose not all the fiefdoms are as business-friendly as mine, but, according to Meister Yogsbi, this is the room. Room not 87, main control room. It's one of the earliest colonies. This bunker's probably built all the way back when the Neo-Crusaders controlled this whole part of the belt and, actually existed. It definitely has some defenses there, just, unimaginably.
Here, let me get the door.
Oh, thank you. So, oh, Meister Yogsbi, how are you? How's your trip? Are you enjoying Bellona?
Sovereign Soleotch, General San Martino, greetings. Welcome to Bellona. How were your flights?
It was fantastic, Meister Yogsbi, and this seems a fine place.
Aye, Sovereign. I must say though, Meister Yogsbi, why do you want to purchase Bellona?
Well, it seems a fine investment for the future. Property values only going up in this area as Pluto and the other core settlements fill up. I expect we can get at least triple its current value eventually.
I had heard that it was possibly going to be used as a tactical position, somewhere to fall back to.
I'm not quite sure where you get that idea, General San Martino. Well, I suppose that could be secondary, but there's no reason we couldn't utilize this Plutoid in multiple ways. You could build some defensives. And Meister Burjhess could, pardon my language, hype up the property to increase its eventual resale value. And we can just see which of the two potential uses prove the most valuable to our well-being. Versatility. That's strategically important, isn't it, General?
That sounds great, Meister, but, now that we seem to have this little matter settled, why don't we go and take a grand tour of this old place, yeah? Hitch, Meister Yogsbi, sound good?
Sure, Sovereign, but...
Oh. So sorry, I forgot, so sorry. Meister Yogsbi, the General wanted to ask you if she could have some time at the start of the next council meeting to talk about some tactical issues she had with the...
Is that right, General
rockets
San
now?
Martino?
Yes, or it was, Sevan. However, after today's event, I am going to bring a friend of mine in. He's a good man. Name's Avak Kleiner. He could bring new ideas into the Revolutionary Council, and I believe make a real positive impact in our organization.
Well, General San Martino, I know you yourself have a great many thoughts and plans about how our organization could be run differently. I know you feel your advice as military advisor has gone unheeded, so if you think this Meister Kleiner would be able to make up for all your grievances, then, well, I don't see any problem with him paying a little visit and possibly joining our ranks. Well then, Sovereign Soleotch, General San Martino, did you want that tour?
Wait, friends, before we go, why don't we have a toast?
I suppose it's customary.
For the revolution!
Hello, Sovereign Soleotch, Master Libero, Duke San Reveal. How was your flight, Sovereign? I understand you're just back from visiting Bellona. It was fine, Meister Burjhess, as was the property. Have you heard that Hitch is bringing a special guest today? A man by the name of Avak Kleiner. Yes, I actually have, Sovereign. I cannot believe Meister Yogsbi approved the General's planet. Seems as if under his leadership we'll have a larger Earth-born population than Belt-born. I have held the view for quite a while that having a merchant as comrade would cause issues eventually. I can't imagine that Meister Yogsbi would allow such a thing. He's always been a strong defender of sovereign interests. I expect Meister Kleiner will speak his mind, get his word out, sit down, and we'll be done with him.
I don't know, Sub. I, for one, hope we get a little new blood. No offense to Meister Yogsbi, but he's been in charge for quite a while. In the early days, the council would have a new convener every year or so. Says the histories. An organization such as ours grows stale with just a fresh coat of paint.
Meister Boros, please settle down. Besides, if Sovereign Soleotch would mind me saying as such, we were having a private conversation about today's meeting.
Excuse me, Marion, but I am a paying member of this fracking revolutionary council, like all of us, except for the sovereigns, of course. My liege.
Meister Burjhess, it really is hard. Moss, none of your commercial operations are in my fiefdoms. You really don't have to bow. Anyway, going back to the matter at hand, I really think that whatever happens is just going to happen. Meister Kleiner becomes a member under special conditions like General San Martino, then we'll be exposed to new ideas. If we don't like them, the sovereigns alone outnumber all the radicals in the Revolutionary Council, and if it opens the floodgates for more Earthborn, although Meister Kleiner is actually from Mars, Meister Burjhess, I have to correct you there. Then it also doesn't matter because Sirvard, Grec, and I are the ones who pay the guards. So who cares? Nothing will change. But if it does, it'll have to be good, right? Meister Berrigan, your commercial interests are in my fiefdom, so please get me another drink, okay? As a simple heir apparent, I must get my own drink. Adieu, Sovereign Soleotch. Master Boros. Sorry about that, Moss. You know how Marion can be about your plans. I agree, though, that Meister Kleiner might make some meaningful positive. Calm down. Meister Yogsbi hasn't arrived yet. You may resume your conversations. The meeting is expected to begin in 1 minute. Positive impact on the council, as I said.
But as you also said, it won't be enough to take out the old guard. They'll still be here, and young merchants won't be able to do crime about it. In fact, we're in the worst position, really. If the General brings in a bunch of her Earthborn pals and they were to take power, I'd be kicked out like the rest of us, right?
Oh, thank you, Meister Berrigan. I don't know about that, Moss, but you're very clever. I'm sure you'll find a way.
Suppose you don't really believe that, Max. But it's a nice sentiment. You're one of the best, Max. You know that, right? Most of the sovereigns wouldn't dare associate themselves with someone like me. A doer. Someone who took the bull by the horns and got power from nothing. Right? Even in front of the right, sin turns. Little pride and joy for a true friend.
Thanks for that sentiment, Meister Pars. There's Meister Yogsbi in the journal, and that must be Meister Kleiner. Yeah, I think you might want some stems as well.
Ah, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and others, nobles and families of nobles, and others, it is my pleasure to be your convener for another day, and to have the privilege to open this, the 4,239th meeting of the Revolutionary Council for the Greater Soleotch Free State. And today I have something just a little bit different for all of you. Please welcome as a special guest from our good friend, Council Military Advisor, General Carrion Hitch San Martino, Meister Avak Ricardo Kleiner.
It really has been a dream of mine, one should know, to see such a thing as the RCGSFS Grand Meeting Hall with one's own eyes. Never imagined as one stands on the gruff Martian soil, taking one brick and putting it just where it needs to be, the other bricks rebuilding to stand firm. Day after day for 200 years, mindless drudgery as one begins to feel empathy for the bricks that once were fellow humanity. Such a thing as stands before me today.
Avak tends to speak in metaphor. He means to say after his virtual slavery at the hands of the lineage, it's amazing to be surrounded by so many free people.
Under the lineage, one is aware of one's torment, but not oneself. I could see myself only as a brick there, created to serve one's purpose, to hold up society. There was no Avak. There was only the brick, putting other bricks into place, as it had been all those years ago when the lineage took over Mars colony RZ3. But that thing which lay unused inside a brick, for it had been bypassed. Imagine a place where all the bricks could make, wait for it to merge, freed of its constraints into the light.
There, Avak is saying that he felt his mind was trapped in a lineage of propaganda and brainwashing, and the lineage has stolen his individuality. He wanted a free society. Everyone under the lineage does.
Sadly, though, one doesn't see that true free society in the belt. One mind trapped in the brick, incapable of seeing itself as human, was deceived by pretty words. If you look around you, does one see true absolute free society? No! One sees a variety of social controls, a complex system of etiquette that restricts behavior, and worse yet, creeps inside the mind. One maintains one's internal freedom on Earth, for the colonies, as one is regulated externally, harshly, constantly reminded that another is controlling their behavior. Here, one lives under an illusion of freedom which corrupts true freedom. This is what I have observed.
Excuse me, Meister Kleiner, but I do believe the Soleotch Free State is the only open society outside the Saiga fleet, and I do also believe they only accept Finblood mutants in their ranks. So, in addition to the fact that you are a guest of the Revolutionary Council of the Greater Soleotch Free State, I believe if you don't want to be returned to the lineage and live the rest of your life in a re-education facility, it might be in your best interest to use a little more tact in your admonishments of Belt society. I must ask, General San Martino, why would you bring Meister Kleiner to these halls today? You claim friendship with Meister Kleiner and must have known about his feelings on the belt. Please explain yourself.
To answer your question, Sovereign Grec, I
I must inform you, General San Martino, that under byline 228A, you're still required to use the bell, even in direct response to a question. Is that not correct, Master Yogsbi?
Yes, that is correct, Meister Burjhess. I'll simply give you a warning, General. However, Meister Burjhess, Sovereign Grec, Meister Kleiner, I'm afraid I must settle this dispute. I have decided to allow General San Martino use of the first decile of our meeting for her purposes, and she has asked that a guest speaker be allowed to use her time. This has been on our planning board since my return from Bologna, and, well, whatever Meister Kleiner chooses to say in that time is his to say.
That's right, Marion.
Just how do you know my name, Meister Kleiner?
Well,
One is, in fact, the Adversary, a demigod of chaos, born into a human body, contained by the lineage, but untouched, and now ready to spread one's ideals of freedom across the system and to the entirety of the human race. Destruction to the lineage of angels.
Guards, seize Meister Kleiner. He is clearly an escaped madman, and I personally doubt he has ever seen the Martian soil he speaks so strongly of. As we all know, the typical Earth form is more a drone, too fond of routine to think for itself, than the reality-challenged old buffoon we see before us.
Max, bring your guards back. Half of them are yours. You pay for them.
I wonder, why do you want to protect this madman? Does he hold some kind of spell over you and Hitch?
No, Max, he'd just be a good figurehead, right? Crazy guy, Hitch and I convince him he's in charge, then boom, all the power of being in charge with a ceremonial kibble, right? He'd also be good for propaganda. If what he says is right, we could get him to convince people from Mars, take him back here. There are just lots of uses for this guy. Yeah?
Alright, boss.
What? Warriors of Soleotch, put down your rifles. You will not assist in the arrest of this man. What are you doing, Sovereign Soleotch? This is about your Meister Boros and your schemes.
So, Greg, I believe you forgot proper procedure for a second there.
Everyone, please, settle down. I realize Meister Kleiner's words were incendiary and suggest mental instability, but squabbling this way is unbecoming of a young noble or a young merchant. Why, Sovereign Grec, you are only 106. Your stewardship of a Mario fiefdom has only just begun, and I could not imagine sacrificing the noble heritage of it or your own line. So, well, please settle down.
Sober. So, Greg, I'm afraid we couldn't find the madman Avak. Sorry, son, but he seemed to vanish. There's nothing we could do.
Thank you, Meister Marquet. You may be excused. May I be excused, Meister Yogsbi?
Sure, Sovereign Grec. Sure.
Well, that certainly was a productive meeting.
I don't know. Isn't the after-meeting dinner really the main event? It's not like we ever do anything except organize more dinner events and pay tribute to the fallen, yeah? Good smee here today.
Yes, I do find it quite nice.
Sovereign, would you mind if I joined you in Moss?
Well, I wouldn't mind, Jim. You're welcome with me any time, yeah? And I'm sure Saul is already with it. You two go back, right?
Sure, you may sit here. think Sovereign Grec will be trying to get you questioned by her goon squad this time, though.
That's really what I want to ask you about. Calling up the guards. It was Moss's idea, I'm sure, but I still can't understand the reasoning behind it. What do you have to gain from trying to help Avak? Or at least trying to look like you are?
Well, I cannot figure it out either, General San Martino. What is your thought process, rising young Star Master Force? If I were a merchant as you are, I would be watching my tongue so as not to fall from my high place. As precarious as a position based purely on outward measures, such as finances, can be. All our places are precarious, Meister Burjhess. We build this structure in our minds and pretend it binds the world to us as a community. Mainly, really, simply, only just binds our community, giving it power, which it returns through stability in our lives. But the vastness of the universe is indifferent to our struggles. Our lives are vacuous this way. And ultimately our society will fall, as all have before. Very beautiful, Duke Jorda. I'm sure your next collection will be even better than Gazing at Infinity, and that was, as I see it, an unmatched masterpiece of modern prose poetry. I shall simply have to speak to my mother, when I next see her, of sponsoring the endeavor. Thank you, Meister Burjhess.
I'm sorry, friends. Meister Burjhess, others, but I believe it's time for the electric ant fights. It's a real guilty pleasure of mine. It should be fun, and I don't want to miss it. Does anyone want to join me?
No, I personally disagree with using faux humans for suicidal tasks.
They're not really human. You of all people should know that, General. I've heard that the ants are used extensively on Luna. However, I find it unbecoming of an heir apparent to find joy in such barbarism. A pleasure much too guilty for me. I find it useful for my art.
I'll join you too, Max.
So, General Carrion, Hitch, San Martino, how are you? Did you enjoy your friend, Master Kleiner's performance? I found it interesting to see just what a certain type of person might do for attention if they feel they haven't been properly noticed.
Meister Burjhess, if you are accusing me of putting Avak up to that display, then I must compliment you on being able to conceive of an Earthborn having any motives besides to please all seeing Ophanim. However, Avak acted on his own. I knew he had his own form of madness, but I also knew that he was very committed to the cause, and I thought he would be pragmatic enough to not share his illusions. I was wrong, and I am sure that I've already paid the price, and...
It's quite a rant you have there, General, if you excuse my language. I would think you have some degree of paranoia about your position on the Revolution Council for the Great Soleotch Free State based on that statement. I can send you to my personal chemist, Dr. Sirvard, for treatment if you'd like, although I suppose extreme caution could be a positive for a military official, such as you are after a fashion.
You're usually not this confident by yourself, Marion. You only act like this when you're backing up Sovereign Grec, or the Raid Center, on some issue. These are strong words, accusations even, for you to voice independently.
Well, General San Martino, I have the support of the community. It is, exactly what Duke Jorda was discussing earlier.
Were you even listening to Sirvard? Have you even read Gazing at Infinity? That is real madness. More even than Avak, I would say.
Duke Jorda, as he should be referred to in polite company, Hitch, is an artist. As such, he is allowed a hint of Bedlam.
That's 21 hours. I should be getting home. Are you going to stop me from leaving?
I do
or-
believe you misunderstand me, General San Martino. Why should I do such a thing? Sovereign Soleotch said something like this earlier. The old guard will always stay strong. The order will remain. Our community will survive and, well, thrive. So, I have no fear. There is no need to prosecute you as such.
Good night, Meister Burjhess.
Well, hello, Sovereign.
Greetings, Meister Yogsbi. How are you? You look poor.
Sovereign Grec, I must confess that I'm not well. I have thought deeply about what Meister Kleiner said, and I have found myself to be uncertain.
Calm yourself, Convener. You shouldn't allow yourself to be dismayed by the screams of a madman. Meister Kleiner hasn't shown the understanding and self-will to be a council member, go to this cafe, or even be human. Remember that an insult from an Earthborn is more like one from an ant, or to delve into the jovial, a vacuum cleaner, than one from your fellow humans. It shows envy more than reasonable distaste or disgust.
I worry that in his unsophisticated way, Meister Kleiner has seen through us, that he looks at our freedom and sees a lie, and is right.
Well then, what free state do you intend
That
to
doesn't
go to?
make me feel better, Sovereign. I grew up waiting to be convener of the Revolutionary Council, but never thought about why. It was because it was prestigious. I wanted something respectful. But why is it that the Council is respectful? Is it because of some actions we take and some things we do that we free people can find to be respectful? No. All we do is sit around and talk about good things the Council did when a scant few of us were children and the rest weren't even alive. There's no reason to respect the Council. It's just prestigious because we are told it is. I'm just prestigious. I only matter because I'm told I am.
I see your crisis of career, Meister Yogsbi. You realize you've spent your entire life doing, well, to put bluntly, nothing.
Well, yes. I suppose that's the heart of the matter, Sovereign Grec.
Let's go somewhere a little more private, Meister Yogsbi.
Why, Sovereign?
Because I lack your crisis and do not wish to be seen as sharing it or your newfound radicalism. Meister Yogsbi.
Alright, Sovereign.
Have you ever read anything by one Duke Jorda?
Yes. Well, I've skimmed a lot of it. Why do you ask?
The Duke has much to say in common with what you say now and Meister Kleiner said the night before. He's dangerous, the Duke.
So don't you think we should try and fix the problem with our society? If our only alternatives are the lineage and the mutants, shouldn't we try and make the belt as free as it can be?
I'm afraid I must disagree with your basic premise there, Meister Yogsbi. Today we cultivate good men, good women. In the lineage they cultivate drones, and in the mutant fleets they cultivate, well, to put it bluntly, savages, as I believe you would if you went down this path.
Yes, but why are the nobles we cultivate and celebrate better than those drones and savages?
That's a question for yourself, Meister Yogsbi. Why should cultivation be higher than bloodshed and your drudgery? Well, I can't imagine you feel able to serve as convener at next week's meeting.
No, I don't, Sovereign Grec. Although I would like to say I should anyways, for the betterment of our society. I can't say I have even the foggiest idea what that would mean right now.
So you will peacefully step down?
I didn't believe force was ever suggested.
It always is, Meister Yogsbi, even if no one ever realizes it.
I'll send the formal paperwork to you in the morning, Sovereign Grec.
Thank you, Meister Yogsbi. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is with solemn gravity that I speak with you today, assembled gentlemen and gentlewomen of Sol, for the 4th emergency meeting of the Revolutionary Council for the Greater Soleotch Free State. As I am sure all of you have been made aware, our own beloved Meister Yogsbi has recently come down with a bout of madness. He links this development with his recent involvement with the anarchist, nihilist, and terrorist Avak, who is known to you for his shallow words of ignoble animal hatred that he bombarded us with in our previous meeting.
McClainer had some nice things to say in my estimation, son. Don't know if you're on about his animal hatred. Sure, he was a bit harsh, but if you ain't going to go after the lineage, what else are we supposed to do as revolutionaries besides fixing our own mistakes?
Settle down, Meister Boros.
Alright, son.
Now that this matter has been settled, I should go on to describe the agenda for today's meeting. First off, we have a report from our own Meister Marion Burjhess about the production of a statue of one of our greatest heroes, one of the greatest men ever to walk through these halls.
Why do you insist on the name Avak, Moss? Are you trying to hurt any chance of actual change?
Are you saying Meister Kleiner didn't do that enough already, Hitch? If you already want him in charge, like Max says, I would put Avak out of his own equation as much as possible, yeah?
Do you really think you can succeed in getting him elected to the council? They don't like you a lot, either.
Ye of little faith, General. I have a few tricks of my own up these sleeves.
Why would you even want Avak on the council?
Why would you, Hitch? Checkmate, yeah?
Meister Boros and General San Martino, please quiet yourselves. You should as well, Meister Sanchez, Duke Ortega, Sovereign Vallejo. I am writing your names down. This is a hall of honor and respect where we are honoring a good man succumbed to a terrible disease. We will vote for Meister Yogsbi's successor soon enough. In the meantime, do not conduct yourselves as wolves scrambling for a fallen elk. It is a disgrace to your lines and yourselves. So may I continue with council business? Thank you. Meister Burjhess, you may finish your report on the Sovereign Lead statue progress.
Thank you, Sovereign Grec. Meister Finmailor has recently finished work on Sovereign Lead's head, and it has been posted on the artery system for approval already, so, any backers of the project may go to the official page and see it. Many, including myself, have, if I may speak for the group, agreed that it is an astonishing work which perfectly encapsulates Sovereign Lead's personal dedication towards the art of statecraft, as well as his rare, recorded, keen and perceptive nature. Meister Finmailor has stated the skeletal structure of the statue is almost complete, and that the full statue should be unveiled within 3 fortnights. I have also brought a holodisc compatible with the projector in our conference room, So anyone interested may join me in conference room B12 to view the work if they don't have access to the document. Thank you very much, Meister Burjhess. You will certainly see me at that event after the meeting. Now, onto our primary item of business, the election of a new convener to take our dear Meister Yogsbi's place until he recovers from his current condition. Would any member of this council care to volunteer an individual for this position?
I would like
Yes, please.
to volunteer, using your terminology, so, Meister Avak Kleiner to be the convener of our fair council. And before you ask, according to Bylaw 488Z, under debates of extreme importance to the council, specifically relating to matters that could determine the very future of the Revolutionary Council for the Greater Solis Free State and or its ability to effectively serve as an active body for the defense of preservation of said Greater Solis Free State. Formal procedures, such as the ceremonial bell, do not have to be observed. And we can all agree the matter of leadership falls under that. Yeah?
We shall have a vote in favor of Meister Porus' assertion. And against Meister Porus' assertion. The motion fails, Meister Porus. I am deeply sorry.
Well then, that would be very significant, sir. But the bylaw actually explicitly states, read below, for example, debate regarding the election of a new convener or equivalent leadership position would be considered to fall under this ruling. So, I don't have to use this thing, yeah?
You cannot blame the larger council for your own inadequate reading of the material you brought into discussion yourself, Meister Porus.
It's called making a point, sir. We like to hide behind our hard and fast rules to avoid discussion. It helps us to pass the time without getting too worked up, yeah? Well, there's a time and place for that. But we're supposed to be fracking revolutionaries, right? We talk at length about all this stuff we've done for the virtues of freedom. But no one from that time is even alive now. And I would imagine seeing their great organization looking more like a book club than a political body would make them weep, yeah?
Thank you for your argument for Meister Avak Kleiner, Meister Porus. Now then, are there any other arguments for any other candidates for office? Why, yes, there is. Although I lack political office, I am of the royal line and imagine I should have some claim to being a good judge of character, based on good breeding. I imagine this council would agree, so it is of some significance that I personally would argue vehemently at that. For our own sovereign Madeira Grec to take on the position of convener, which he has so wondrously and nobly, if I may say so, taken on in this, our hour of need. I find myself shocked at this suggestion, Meister Burjhess. I don't personally see any reason why I should be a good candidate to fulfill this position permanently. Would you or anyone else state any reason why I should be our permanent convener? I would be delighted to do so, Soblin. Firstly, Sovereign Grec! I know you're very aware of my work, and I am very aware of how you feel about it. So considering this, I find you an exemplary choice for this position. I have longed for this change in leadership for a long time, and admirably wish it on its way. to, Jorda. It was a
Promising the young age and eventually die. Put everything. A fine piece by our fair Duke. I shall personally be looking over the day's recording tomorrow to think about these words. I see no reason not to. Sob.
I will also thank you for that performance too, Jorda. It was wonderful. In fact, I would argue that this entire evening has shown Sovereign Grec's nigh unrivaled prowess as a convener. We have seen how, in response to unconventional viewpoints such as those of Meister Porus, she has allowed them to say their piece and continue the discussion, occasionally with interruption, to control the effect of possibly offensive and inflammatory material, but not to destroy that material. A revolutionary council for the Greater Soul's Free State under Sovereign Grec is a free place and a safe place. Meanwhile, legitimate interruptions, such as the artistry of our own critically acclaimed, although perhaps a bit too spontaneous, Duke Jorda, are allowed to continue for as long as is necessary. Sovereign Grec understands balance, like Master Yogsbi did before her. For those reasons and more, many more, I believe that Sovereign Grec should be our new convener.
Thank you for that speech, Meister Burjhess. As your temporary convener, I will maintain my neutrality on this issue. If there are no more suggestions for convener, I will call this council to vote.
Wait, Sovereign Grec, I will make a closing argument in favor of Meister.
Fine, General, you may make your case.
Thanks, Sovereign. Avak is the best candidate for this position because he forces us to take a new perspective. The outsider perspective will be forced onto us, and that is what Avak is, the ultimate outsider. He may be a madman, but that just means he's not bound by our laws of politeness. Besides, the governor's power comes from the council. If you elect Avak, he'll simply be a figurehead. So does none of us put in charge.
Thank you for your opinion, General San Martino. I hope that all of our membership keeps both General San Martino and Meister Burjhess' arguments in mind as Meister Libero opens up the voting station. Please walk in an orderly fashion to the box then. Our replicator is printing out the 5-gram and 8-gram slugs into the labeled trays. Please take one of each and remember to place the heavier slug in the urn if you wish to vote for Meister Kleiner, and place the lighter slug in the urn if you wish to vote for myself, Sovereign Grec. Godspeed to you all, and the results will be sent out at 0700 hours Pluto time. Please remember to recalculate that for your place of residence, and I hope we all have a pleasant evening.
I'm not surprised that you lost. It just really tracking sucks.
Most nobles are just far too afraid of change. Hitch, we're born in this society. It supported us, it nurtured us, it raised us. None of us want anything to threaten it. I voted for him, that was if that's any help.
Here's where I disagree. That's what I thought for a while too. But I think Hitch has realized that's not really the case. If it were, then I could have played on it, yeah? We need this guy. We need someone like Avak to make us stronger. They aren't afraid. At least most of them aren't. I don't think anything is going to threaten their way of life. You see that, right, General?
Yeah, I agree with you, Moss. If the lineage was respected as a threat, maybe we could play on it. The only way to change things seems to be trying to against the nobles individually, and most of them care too much about their social standing to do anything.
Plenty of good people in the nobility, though. Do Ortega, Sirvard, Fernanda. How good people.
Yeah, it's usually the case. Although most every noble I've ever met's been a good person, but if you got a group together, then you just have a huge war, yeah? Excluding you, of course.
Thanks again.
That reminds me of something, Moss.
Oh, hey, there's Sovereign Grec and Meister Lefaro. I wonder what they might be doing at St. Martin's.
I'll sit here. Hope they don't notice. The Soul seems a bit angry. What her issue is? She won, didn't she? You know? That's another thing
Meister Boros, General San Martino, your legacies will go down as those that destroyed the last bastion of free civilization in the known universe. Are you aware of the video which your Meister Kleiner has been transmitting to the lineage? It went up as soon as our last meeting ended, and it is absolutely damning.
I'm not sure what video you're talking about, Sovereign.
Evacuations are already starting for safer Plutoids, General. Everyone in here can find their way to a rescue vessel on the South Spaceport for evacuation. The raid Centurion is already on her way to an undisclosed location in case you're worried about her safety. You are about to have the war you always wanted, General.
The lineage is attacking Sovereign. Why was I not informed of this? I must sincerely apologize to Confident for any wrongdoing and will immediately mobilize my personal sources. Please tell me how this has happened.
Sovereign Soleotch, or Max if you would prefer. At 1824 hours Pluto time, the Revolutionary Council for the Greater Solar Free State's official broadcast channel was hacked, along with that of the raid Centurion. These signals both send out live broadcasts in which Meister Avak Kleiner posed as Combiner, and itself minor treason, and also, declared open warfare on the lineage of angels. They had been waiting for a good reason to destroy us for a long time. Their fleets orbiting Venus were already prepared to strike. General San Martino, you are expected to have little more than a fortnight to prepare our defenses. Meanwhile, we will be retreating to Bologna.
We're gonna ride out of here, or do I have to go pay?
Raid Centurion is merciful and has provided all regular members of the Revolutionary Council with free travel on the Council's capital ship, the Granada. General San Martino, as a non-regular member, you are not included in this, and as a military advisor, you are expected to stay on Pluto and maintain our defenses. Normally, you would be allowed choice in this matter, but I have spoken to Meister Burjhess, who has spoken in turn to the Raid Centurion, and we agree that you are considered to owe this nation a great debt, which must be repaid through your service.
Of course, Sovereign. I will serve the Soulish Free State faithfully.
Thank you for being civil about this, General. Now, the rest of you delinquents can accompany me to the East Spaceport. Any questions?
I don't rightly believe so, sir.
I suppose not. Thank you, Sovereign Grec.
We're making good speed, Sovereign Grec. Cabo Navarro says we should reach Bologna in a week's time. Thank you, Meister Burjhess. It's all very startling, isn't it, Meister Burjhess? Well, I suppose it is. I can't say I ever imagined in my life that there should be open warfare with the enemy. I imagine General San Martino is preparing her defenses already, though, marshalling forces, arming the artillery, and so... This is war, Meister Burjhess. You don't have to pretend we're making tea. It will be hard, and we will have to learn to be strong. Is it something we've prepared ourselves for? It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't a possibility. It wasn't a remote possibility. They were simply boogeymen for lesser minds to worry themselves with. They were no concern of ours. Don't worry yourself, Sovereign. Your defenses are more than adequate to repel an invasion. Bologna is, I understand, already prepared to hold the refugees from the core worlds, which, from what I gather, is all that we'll need. You may console yourself, Meister Burjhess, but not me. You do not see the real threat, should not see the real threat. You have been trained too well. You imagine that all our nobles will continue their lives in Bologna as if nothing has changed, as you intend to, and maybe you will, and maybe they will. But as the enemy gets closer, even if escape is always at a moment's notice, fear will grow. And even if we are always safe, it is the illusion of danger that can destroy everything we've worked for. I see. As you see, the noble likeness will be destroyed, and so petty concerns of the material will be brought back to us, and so squabbling will result, and then the noble world as we have known it shall disappear like fairy dust. Yes. Well, it's a very frightening prospect, you realize, Sovereign Grec. Of course, that's why Meister Yogsbi had to be sent away, and why all the money in the belt will not allow you to buy noble honors. We must maintain purity. I cannot agree more, Sovereign, but how are you going to do that? I will think about this. Farewell, Meister Burjhess.
Hello, Sub Grec. She wasn't very sociable, was she, Max?
Yeah, I suppose not.
You know, I'm really looking forward to this, thinking that it'll be interesting to see just what happens. I wonder how everyone will react. I wonder what'll happen to the general. What happened to you? To me? It's all just so new, yeah?
I'm just surprised that it happened. I shouldn't have voted for Meister Kleiner. I know it doesn't really matter, but I don't want to think that I was in some way responsible for the fall of civilization.
Why are you making such a big deal about this, Saul? This could have happened at any time. Just so happens that Avak got him to go here, yeah? All it would have taken was some guy at Lineage, Central Command, or whatever they call it, having an off day, and poof! We're where we are right now. And there's so many other things. Mutants could have sent some psychic presence or some kipple, and we'd all be dead. Black hole could have spontaneously appeared. Just so happens, it was a guy you met once and voted for in an election you probably didn't know or care about. None of this is really about you, yeah? So stop this.
Well, thank you so much, Moss, for telling me that the foundation for my fracking, emotional security, and faith in the fracking universe is fracking ridiculous.
What do you want me to say, so? Not you. I can't just lie to make you feel better, right? I'm an honest soul. No matter how miserable it makes me, or anyone else, I know all my core beliefs are wrong too. I just follow them because I gotta do something, yeah? And if you want to keep following your quote-unquote noble values, I think you need to do that too, yeah?
And here I thought one of your beliefs is that your beliefs don't apply to anyone else. Gods, Boros.
Well, it's just a figure of speech, so. Fine then. Nice stars out tonight. Or whatever time.